Picture a small, eerie island nestled in the heart of the Venetian lagoon. No tourist boats approach its shores, and locals whisper its name with dread. Poveglia, the island of no return. This seemingly peaceful patch of land hides a dark secret beneath its surface. The ground you walk on is composed of over half human remains. Welcome to Poveglia, widely regarded as the most haunted island on Earth. A psychiatric hospital was established within its haunted confines, its walls soon echoing with the tormented cries of its patients. From the very beginning, something was terribly wrong. This man was no healer, but a sadistic monster who saw the isolation of Poveglia as an opportunity to indulge his darkest impulses. But on Poveglia, even this ghastly procedure was perverted into something even more nightmarish. But the doctor remained unmoved, his cold eyes gleaming with the madness that rivaled that of his patients. He saw himself as a pioneer, pushing the boundaries of science and the human mind. He began to ramble about voices calling to him from the walls, of ghostly hands reaching for him in the night. In a frenzy of terror and guilt, he fled to the asylum's bell tower, climbing its winding stairs with the desperation of a hunted animal. A nurse, drawn by the commotion, arrived just in time to witness a chilling sight. As the doctor's body plummeted towards the ground, she swears she saw a misty veil rise from the earth itself. This ghostly shroud seemed to wrap itself around the falling man, choking the life from him, even before he hit the unforgiving ground below. Its overgrown paths and crumbling buildings hide centuries of pain, madness, and death. The Italian government has declared the island off-limits, perhaps in recognition of the dark forces that still linger there. For in this place of darkness and despair, the dead have never truly found rest, and they are always eager for new company to join them in their eternal haunting of the world's most cursed island. As he reached the top, witnesses claim he let out an inhuman scream before hurling himself from the tower's heights. The very apparitions he had dismissed as delusions now haunted his every waking moment. The tormented souls of Poveglia, it seemed, had finally found a way to exact their revenge. But the island's dark energy continued to make its presence felt. Though the bell itself was removed decades ago, locals swear that on certain nights, when the mist rolls in from the lagoon, the clear, mournful toll of a bell can be heard ringing out across the water. It's as if the island itself is calling out, a warning to the living to stay away from its cursed shores. Fishermen who strayed too close to Poveglia's shores reported hearing blood-curdling screams carried on the wind, as if the island's tragic victims were still reliving their final moments. In reality, he was creating a hell on Earth, adding fresh torment to an island already steeped in centuries of suffering. The doctor performed his lobotomies not in a sterile operating room, but in the dank basement of the asylum. His tools were not precision surgical instruments, but a crude hammer and chisel. It is a vast open grave, a place where the boundary between the world of the living and the realm of the dead has worn thin. The souls of those who perished there, plague victims, asylum patients, and perhaps even the mad doctor himself, have never truly left. They remain, trapped in a limbo of suffering, their anguished cries echoing across the centuries. And perhaps most horrifying of all, he carried out these mutilations without the mercy of anesthesia. Under the guise of medical research, he subjected his helpless patients to cruel and barbaric experiments. The island's sinister history began with the devastating plague that swept through Europe. As the Black Death tightened its grip on Venice, the city's authorities made a fateful decision. Poveglia was transformed into a quarantine station, a place where the infected were sent to die. As the years passed, something began to change in the doctor. He became increasingly agitated, his nights plagued by vivid nightmares. During the day, he would stare at shadows, his eyes darting nervously as if expecting attack from unseen assailants. The staff whispered among themselves, wondering if their cruel master was finally getting his comeuppance. Thousands upon thousands of men, women, and children were forcibly transported to this isolated hell. Their fates sealed the moment they set foot on its cursed soil. They described vivid apparitions of plague victims, their bodies twisted in agony, their eyes pleading for mercy. But their pleas fell on deaf ears. The staff dismissed these accounts as the ravings of the mentally ill, never considering that the island itself might be trying to communicate its dark past. The scenes that unfolded on Poveglia during those dark days defy imagination. The air was thick with the acrid smoke of burning bodies and the agonized screams of the dying. Those who arrived alive were often burned on massive pyres or buried in mass graves while still breathing. It's estimated that over 160,000 souls met their gruesome end on this tiny island, their ashes and bones becoming one with the very earth. But the horrors of Poveglia were far from over. In 1922, long after the plague had receded into history, the island found a new and equally disturbing purpose. The patient spoke of whispering voices carried on the wind, of shadowy figures that lurked in corners and vanished when approached. At the helm of this asylum of horrors was a chief physician whose name has been lost to history, but whose deeds live on in infamy. One of his favorite procedures was the lobotomy, a brutal operation designed to sever connections in the brain's prefrontal cortex. The screams of his victims echoed through the asylum's halls, mingling with the ghostly whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls. But even the most hardened souls cannot escape the weight of their sins forever. Legend has it that the doctor's descent into madness was swift and terrifying. One stormy night, as lightning illuminated the asylum's gothic silhouette, the doctor's madness reached its horrifying climax. But even in death, Poveglia would not release its grip on the doctor's soul. In the years that followed, the asylum was abandoned, its crumbling walls left to the mercy of the elements and the restless spirits that called it home. Perhaps most chilling of all is the legend of the bell tower. Today, Poveglia stands as a grim monument to human suffering and the lingering power of tragedy. For Poveglia is not simply an abandoned place, a relic of a bygone era. To step foot on Poveglia is to risk joining those tormented spirits, to become part of the island's grim legacy.